An analysis of Edwidge Danticat's Night Women. Edwidge Danticat was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti on January 19, 1969. When she was 2 years old, her father André emigrated from Haiti to New York, to be followed 2 years later by her mother Rose, leaving the young Edwidge to be raised by her aunt and uncle. It was during these years that she was exposed to the Haitian practice of storytelling. At the age of 12, English would become her third language when she moved to Brooklyn to join her parents. Because of her French Creole accents and Haitian upbringing, she never quite felt like she fit in, and so she turned to books as a source of solace. Ironically, it would be the same unique blend of language that she was teased for in school that would make her writing compelling and powerful. In 1994, she wrote Breath, Eyes, Memory. This novel speaks of 4 generations of Haitian women who must overcome their poverty and powerlessness. The following year, she published Crick Crack, a collection of short stories about Haiti and Haitian Americans longing for political freedoms and democracy. Crick Crack was a finalist for the National Book Award in 1995. Within her writing, Danticat often speaks of the real-world effects of post-colonialism. Therefore, it is useful for us to discuss this concept. In colonial settings, such as pre-independent Haiti, colonial power succeeded by emphasizing the inferiority of native and African cultures and the supremacy of European culture. Politically, they often survived by setting up puppet dictatorships. After colonialism ended, most of these new states simply repeated the patterns of these brutal dictatorships. Economically, colonialism and the corruption of the post-colonial period resulted in poverty through spent resources and a culture that encouraged cycles of poverty. Within post-colonial settings, identity, on a national and individual level, is a major issue. How do these nations and their people begin to define themselves in a post-colonial time? How do they embrace their own cultures, religions, and language when these were mostly imposed by or adapted in response to imperial powers? How does this difficulty in national identity influence individual lives? How do poverty, corruption, and generations of incompetent government influence national identity and individual lives? How do issues of gender tie into post-colonialism? First, there's the double role of submission, the traditional oppression of women and usually of people of color. In most post-colonial states, the feminine has been devalued, and stable male roles in families have not always been encouraged or valued. Many post-colonial writers are women who write about how women have had to bear the brunt of the suffering and responsibilities that post-colonial existence brings. It does seem within these cultures that much greater emphasis is put on women as keepers of the family unit. Men are often temporary or absent interlopers in many of these post-colonial narratives. Edwidge Danticat is only one of many post-colonial writers. One of the most popular post-colonial writers is Jamaica Kincaid. Others who have discussed these issues in depth are Edward Said, Homi Bhabha, and Salman Rushdie. Danticat's writing style in Night Women relies on a mystical, dreamlike quality. Though this may hinder a clear understanding of the plot at times, it adds color and potential symbolism to numerous portions of the story. Note that this mystical language is often employed in ways that might cover the dirty or debasing elements of the narrator's profession. There is a touch of the surreal, mystical, and otherworldly in the narrator's descriptions. Many post-colonial writers sought to subvert the imposed language of imperialism through the use of mysticism and non-European imagery. The point of view within this story is essential, since this first-person narrator allows the character's story to be told in a more sympathetic manner than might be portrayed by an outside observer. In addition, it allows the reader access to the character's thoughts about her child and the influence her profession may have on her son's view of her and of her life. The lack of names provided for both the narrator and her son further suggests their anonymity within the broader society. The only named characters are her suitors, men with money. The fact that their names are provided suggests they have social power, and therefore some level of identity, whereas the narrator herself lacks any power beyond that which she can produce through the use of her own body. The lack of names for these primary characters may also have been done so as to allow the story to be representative of all the night women in places such as this, not just about one particular woman and child in such a circumstance. Ultimately, Danticat uses the story to portray how a woman must cope with the degradation of poverty and its resultant effects. Even though the narrator engages in prostitution, we as the reader are discouraged from harsh judgment of her and instead are positioned to be sympathetic to her plight.